What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Second Avenue Podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Linares.
I'm your other host, Elijah Venencia. Welcome back, everybody. We have a big welcoming back here to Range Brothers announcements. We are 3 weeks in. We've
Sir.
played 2 games, had our bye week two. We started out 1-1. I mean, you want to go? I mean, how about you tell them a little bit? How the season's going so far?
Yeah, first week we played the defending champs, only lost by I think 11. It was a good game. We came out real hot, scored 30 points in the first quarter, back to back second and third quarters with only 9 points, and then we had a pretty good fourth quarter to make it close. I think we were down by 4 points with like under 5 minutes left. So we were in it. Better than last season was going. So off to a decent start. Then we got a win today against a really bad team. A lot of chippiness, a lot of talking, some technical fouls. I'll let you talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, it is when you're losing. I've been in that position. But if you know hopes in football, when you're losing, sometimes you just get enjoyment out of stuff like that. I was threatened to be hit. Obviously, didn't happen. I'm here, I'm alive, and everything. And then my boy Ben, my partner, he got okay, my betting partner. There we go.
Yeah, just
I
for the
better
people.
clarify there. He got a technical for a dunk. We didn't know that was a thing. He got ejected because he got a technical following that. And then I mean they're kind of just scummy people. They're
They
not
were
standing on
absolutely were.
business.
They were
Yeah.
not there. They were all talk. They were from a town with like 100 people. I mean, it was just
Yeah.
different.
What's their painting company? Everybody go blast them with bad
No, let's
reviews.
not. We're not doing that. But if you know, you know. If you want to look, I'm sure you can find out.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So 1-1, big game next week against a Hoopson team. So rivals will say, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Uh,
Battle for the city.
Battle for the city. Yeah, we'll see who's really running it. We've taken this matchup for the past 2 years, so we got to just take care of business, and city's ours again.
Yeah. Hey,
Um,
hey, I'm gonna start this movement here. Get it on air. Free Ben Brown. Let's get the movement going.
please, I want the comments filled up on Monday's Instagram post. Free Ben Brown.
Paxton Park District. If you guys need to go spam it on their page as well.
Yeah, let them know.
All
But
right.
yeah, obviously that was the big game for today. But there's another game going on that some people are
Yeah.
excited for, I guess. I don't know. I'm not. But the Super Bowl, of course, obviously it'll have already happened when you're listening to this episode on Monday or after. But let's give our predictions. Who do you think's going to win the Super Bowl? Any other predictions associated with that?
I honestly hope neither team wins. But Eagles got last year. You know what happened? Eagles Chiefs. Whatever. We won't talk about it. Chiefs are going back to back though. That's my prediction. Mahomes solidifies himself as the GOAT. So
Yeah, he has a crazy resume if he pulls this one off. I'm going with the 49ers just because McCaffrey's won me some fantasy championships. I got to rock with him. Have you been seeing all these TikToks and they're like
uh,
just situational and they're like the 49ers are up, 90-0 and they all get injured and they head to the locker room and the
oh,
Chicago
Bear,
Bears come running
yeah,
out.
yeah. I mean, as much as it pains me, as much hate as I have for the Chiefs, I would much rather see Mahomes win another ring rather than Brock Purdy win a ring. So,
Crazy.
the backlash off that would be crazy. So, we'll see what happens. So,
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll be back next week. Yeah, today you're just talking about your betting partner. This is the only day a year I bet, really. Like, maybe I'll throw occasional, but Super Bowl, I'm throwing, I'll do a little $10 worth of parlays. I might be rich. We might be done with the pod. We
uh,
might blow up. We might be having a new studio next week.
yeah,
We'll
not
see.
done with the pod. We're upgrading the pod at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Or I'm going off the grid because I'm so rich. It's one of the two.
Yeah, yeah,
Let's get our songs of the week. We kind of been slacking on this, so glad we brought it back. Did
yeah.
we do it last week?
We did it last week, so we 2 weeks in a row. Let's make it three after
Okay. Yeah,
this.
yeah, let's get it. Okay, kick us off here. What's your first song of the week?
Bandit by Don Tolliver, fire track just released last week, and I'm really enjoying it. So
I love Bandit Fire.
he's in
What
album
is
mode.
that? Yeah, sounds like he's in album mode. I think it is that Tame Impala sample. Fire.
Yeah, I believe so.
I believe so. That's what it sounds like. I've never verified that, but that's what it sounds like. Love that one. My first song of the week, I got Bang the Bus by Max O'Cream. I just heard this one recently. Max O'Cream, produced by Evil Gianni from Surf Gang. Ooh, so fire. I really only know him from his production on Making the Band Dandy Kane by Earl from last year, which was one of my favorite songs. Everything I've heard production wise has been great. I listened to his own project with some other artists on it. Fire. Max and Cream, underrated. I like what I heard from Max and Cream. I don't listen too much, but the songs I like a lot. This is definitely one of them. This is a low key song. I haven't heard anybody talk about this one, so check this one out. I'll put you on.
Putting us all on.
Yep.
Moving on here. We got Tony Story by Meek Mill. I gave a Dream Chasers just a random re-listen the other day. It's something I used to bang a little bit back in the day. But Tony Story, a great storytelling there, obviously, and it's a really good trilogy that he has. So shout out Meek Mill, shout out Philly.
Fire. I just, called an audible. I'm changing my song. You were revisiting, so I'll give my revisiting story for the week. We were out to eat last night. We went to Champagne, went to hibachi. I had hibachi food for the first time in my life. Pretty good. And then, on the drive back, we were just listening to music. I was on aux, and I wanted a song that was on SoundCloud. And so then I just stuck on SoundCloud
Uh,
for the rest of the ride. I was just playing random songs, and one of those was Phone Numbers by Wiz Khalifa and Big Sean. What
ooh,
a throwback. They didn't have like the original like sample or something. It's just different on the new streaming version. Not a fan. I like the original version. You get Big Sean, you get Wiz. Oh, those two at that era, that's a very, very core song for me. And like, I don't know what I would have been in like eighth grade maybe, but love that one. That's one I had not heard in, ooh, I couldn't tell you the last time I heard it. So listen to that. It was fire. It was great.
yeah, that's a fire one. I got a lot of I got a lot of memories associated with Big Sean and SoundCloud. We're gonna get into that in
Oh
next week,
yeah.
I believe, for album of the month or within the next couple weeks. So, moving on to my last track here, we have "Yeah" by Usher. Give myself
Oh,
right for the halftime show. I'm excited to see what Usher does. I don't know how to feel about it completely, but we'll see what happens. So,
yeah, Usher's kind of a random pick. I mean, obviously he's got a lot of big songs, but he just dropped a new album, obviously capitalizing on the Super Bowl momentum. But
mm,
I'm really not going to be too happy if he plays too many new songs. He's got to go with the
yeah,
classics. He's got to give the people what they want. I don't know how long they have allotted for the halftime performance. I feel like probably like 15 minutes.
yeah, it's pretty
So
quick.
we got to run through these hits. We got to get the staples out the way. Then, if he does one new song, I'll let it slide if it's a
All
good
right.
song, but we got to get the classics. Do you have like an Usher favorite? Is Yeah what you're going with?
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Well, I don't know, man. I really want like a Love in This Club or something. Oh my God, I used to love that.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot though, so I think he'll do good.
I think he will too. I think I'm sleeping on him a little bit. He
Uh,
just
it,
because he doesn't have like the star power today. He does, but he doesn't. You know what I mean?
uh,
Like he's earned it because of what he's done. But like, people, the TikTok Super Bowl fans are not going to be happy with Usher, I don't think. It's going to depend. He's got to put on a show.
Second Avenue podcast is rocking with it. So,
We're definitely rocking with Usher. He's our era. He's before our era a little bit, but into ours.
hmm.
All right, my last song of the week. I got Every Time by Boy Pablo. Just threw this one on randomly the other day. I was just feeling some not rap. I had a playlist from probably 2018 or 19, and it was just, whoa, I don't only listen to rap was the title. And that was, that was my awakening to not rap. I was listening to the Tim Palas, the Rex Orange Counties, the Boy Pablos, people like that. And it was just a great time. That was a great time in my life. It was opening me up to new types of music. And Boy Pablo was one of those core guys. He was really blowing up around that time. Saw him at Lollapalooza 2 years ago. Put on a great show. This is one of the standouts. So always like going back to this.
Yeah, that's a fire pick there. Yeah, we'll be back next week with songs of the week. I'm gonna commit to it on air. Third week in a row, hitting the three piece. So we'll be back.
We got to. Sometimes it takes too long, but today's a little bit weaker of a day, so I'll let it slide. But yeah, let's get into the topic today's episode. Kind of have a joint split main topic today. Those two being Grammy's reactions from last week. If you saw last week's episode, you saw our predictions for what was going to happen, which came out after the Grammys actually happened. And so now we're looking back at what actually did happen. And then we'll be talking a lot about Vultures, one from Kanye and Ty Dolla Sign, not going song by song like we have in the past, just kind of talking overview, some of our favorite songs. And then we'll talk a little bit about some of the other releases from this week, although it's obviously highlighted by Vultures. Let's start off with the Grammy talk, just because that is based on last week's episode. Um, yeah, let's just generally talk a little bit here. Obviously, Killer Mike had a big night.
You
The
ran that
internet's
shit.
talking, which is crazy to me. Killer Mike, for those of you who may not have seen, he won Rap Performance of the Year, Rap Song of the Year, and Rap Album of the Year with Michael and with Scientists and Engineers featuring Future, Andre 2000, and Aaron Allen Kane. So yeah, he was running the game, and I'll say he deserved it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely in agreement there. Uh, I'll listen to the Travis Scott argument, but I don't think it's not a robbery by any means.
No,
If it's just a lot of it, the social media attention I feel from it is from people who haven't even listened or just don't get into that version, I guess, of rap. Or I mean, I don't. It's not. And the clips like you've seen, I mean, you saw it on Twitter, like they said they gave Killer Mike, they gave this the Grammy for. I was like, that's tough. That was a hard,
yes,
tough
they
ass
did.
part. So definitely not a robbery. Would I have loved to see Travis win one after? I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, yeah, I'll say a robbery in 2019 with
Absolutely.
Invasion of Privacy over Astro World, but Invasion of Privacy was also over Daytona and swimming as well.
Yeah,
So I mean, it's I not that they owed it to Travis Scott, but I think he put up a rap album of the year. At that bar, he set the bar for Utopia at that. It was deserving of the award. So I don't know. I like it's kind of like mixed emotions about what are you going to do though.
absolutely. I picked Travis or Metro Boomin. I thought he had a chance, but Killer Mike was like my third pick. Like I would have been very happy.
Yeah,
I think it's a deserving album, but just personally, I thought it was going to go to one of the other two. I think the other two kind of balance mainstream popularity and quality better.
uh,
I think this is, of the highest quality you can get, Michael is, but it's not as widely accepted. But that's the thing. I feel like, the Grammys, they do award good music, but it's also a way to discover that music. You know what I mean? Like they expanded the album of the year category to 10 albums or whatever it is. It's way more albums for the general album of the year category than it used to be. People likely haven't heard all those albums. That's a chance. Okay, they're giving it some love. I gotta check this out. When Casey Musgraves won album of the year, I was like, I don't really know Casey Musgraves. I heard the name, I don't know her music. She performed, and I was like, oh, she's fire. Butterfly is such a good song. Listen to the album. It's like, I believe on the pod I said it was my favorite non-rap album of all time.
time. Yeah.
And it's up there. It's so good. So if you haven't heard this music, I think it's a chance for them to put you on a little bit. But I will say at the same time, these people with rap platforms are just exposing themselves. If you don't know who Killer Mike is
Yeah.
and you're claiming to be, a rap fan or a person that believes that they can critique rap or comment on this, and you don't know who Killer Mike is, who's been active since the 2000s, since all this, he's been with Outkast, he's been with Run the Jewels, he's
Yeah.
been just a mainstay in rap for
And
decades, literally.
uh
It's insane. So yeah, I don't even know. Twitter, they were really showing themselves not a good
my
way.
my thing with that as well, you're to have an opinion on anything, you have to at least give something a chance. And I guarantee half the people, I mean, who are critiquing it and calling it a robbery, I'm going to stick on and stand by. I think Utopia should have won, but it's in no way a robbery. So it's just, I mean, like you said there, like Killer Mike's killed the game, a little wordplay
Yeah,
there. But yeah, so and it was a phenomenal project. So I I was not happy to see it win, but I could respect the win. The biggest thing for me, which is it's always kind of confusing with the Grammys. I feel like some years or some categories they kind of bring pop like how well the album did. Like I don't think Taylor Swift
yeah,
should have won this year. So I mean, if you're gonna like, I feel like you just need to have a very flattened out
real
like
like
grading
strict criteria.
yeah,
Yeah,
like because I think Olivia Rodrigo had a much better project than Taylor Swift. I mean, just one off the top of my head there, that was my prediction, I believe. So I it's just they got to stick to something here because I mean I feel like popularity has ruled in some years and others it hasn't. So um, and not
agreed.
that it shouldn't be the only defining factor, but Utopia definitely met the musical like I mean Utopia is a phenomenal project. Travis took it to another level almost again. So I mean it's at that bar. It's got the popularity. So that's my last little
Yeah,
tidbit on Utopia, I guess.
100%. And it's like the same thing. It is, very unclear how they decide. Some years it feels like it's quality. This year feels like they picked off quality. Some years it feels like it's based off popularity, like 2019 with Cardi B. That is not the best album. It was the most popular in the mainstream. And Astroworld was right up there though
Yeah,
too, you know what
yeah,
I
I'd
mean?
say yeah.
So, and Astroworld was a better album, so that was even more confusing. But Cardi, was very popular. Bodak Yellow, popular. So you get it. But Travis also had sicko mode. Travis had hits. So that was a weird year. But that to me, I mean, that was the
Very
I
blatant.
don't
Like
remember the other
swimming.
nominee, but Pusha was
Um,
better, Mac was better, and Travis was better. And I don't know if there was only
was
four
it
or five, but
was it Nas?
it was Nas. Yeah, yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was Nas. So yeah, I think it was the worst album, if we're being honest, but it won. And at least this year, it was not by any means the worst album. It was a good album. So shout out to Killer Mike. Um, but I also feel like it's kind of one of those things where the Grammys are kind of rewarding longevity. Like Nas,
Mhm.
he didn't win Grammys for his earlier albums where he became the legend that he is, and now he's winning them for these newer
Uh-huh.
projects. But I mean, they're good projects, so I can't be mad at it, but it's just interesting. But I guess let's kind of just talk about some of the more general categories here. Um, Miley Cyrus was kind of running it. She won both Record of the Year and Best Pop Solo Performance for Flowers, which I'm not a big Flowers guy,
Yeah,
admittedly.
you mentioned that was like the only one you did not. So
I did. I specifically singled that one out as my one I did not want to win, and it did. I'm sure people like it. It's just not for me. It's all right. Shout out to Miley. Great to see her still out here killing it, but yeah, not my cup of tea. There's a lot of other ones here I would have liked to win. I did pick Billie Eilish to win Song of the Year, and she won that. I thought that was kind of a lock. I'm surprised that was the only one that track won, honestly. I thought that could win more. But yeah, let's talk Album of the Year general. Midnights by Taylor Swift wins over Guts, over SOS. Questionable. I think even Taylor Swift fans I've seen talk about it. They're like, it's good, but it's not amazing.
it's not Taylor's best. I
That's what
feel
they
like
say.
Taylor's put out better projects, which it's not in the news or anything. Another Taylor Swift project on the way, so that's fire.
Yeah,
Um, my biggest surprise, I guess, outside of Killer Mike winning, that was pretty surprised. I thought it was dead set on Utopia or Heroes and Villains, like you said. That was somewhat surprising. Ice Spice not winning uh, Best New
crazy.
Artist was crazy. So, Ice Spice, you were my new artist of
Yep.
2023. You've been my new artist
Yeah, for
for
2 years now. So
yeah.
yeah, I guess we didn't talk about this with Killer Mike. I think it was surprising that he got three. Him getting
I,
one, I'd have been like, okay, cool. Yeah, deserved. Obviously, Scientists and Engineers, amazing song, album, great. But it winning all three, I was like, oh wow, that's
someone
kind of
called it
crazy.
two rap songs. Someone called it. Go
Somebody
tune in
did.
last week to figure it out.
Somebody did. Um, yeah, I thought I picked it for song. I didn't pick it for performance. I thought maybe Hillbillies. I thought we had options.
Yeah.
Shout out to Killer Mike though. And I guess we didn't talk about the melodic rap performance. That was won by Lil Durk and J. Cole's All
Yeah,
My
that
Life,
was
which
weird.
which
Dead
we
on. Like,
picked.
yeah.
Yeah, that felt
Um,
pretty obvious.
yeah, Killer Mike killed it. Three-peat. It was crazy to see him get arrested. Obviously, that's not like too much news to
Yeah.
report or anything. Haven't seen much of what happened there, but that was pretty wild.
Yeah, the memes were that crazy. People were like, oh, he's arrested for robbery.
Yeah.
He robbed Travis Scott from a Grammy. Crazy. But yeah, back to the general stuff here. Midnights. Yeah, we got the new Taylor album. Midnights, cool. I heard some people, taking a little bit of almost offense, I guess, that she announced her new project at the Grammys, just because that's such like I don't know. They took it as like a cocky moment. Like she knew she was gonna win. Like she built her rollout around knowing she's gonna win a Grammy, and she's Taylor Swift. Like, yeah, you kind of think she's gonna win one, but that is bold.
Hey,
Is
Taylor
there's
Swift's
some good
valid.
people in that?
She's valid to do whatever she fucking wants on that stage. Because she's always gonna have the 2009 VMAs Kanye moment. So I
Yeah,
mean, she can do whatever she wants up there.
man. Speaking of that, I thought Jay-Z was about to get in that bag.
Oh yeah, he had like he was going crazy. You get respect to Hove,
Yeah,
legend in the game, of course. So, yeah, he said his piece though. I respect it.
he did. Yeah, he said when he gets nervous, he tells the truth, and that was a bar. But
Yeah.
no, he was definitely spitting up there. But yeah, new Taylor Swift album. We've talked about this ourselves off the air. We'll see if it actually becomes reality. But we said last week potentially reaction videos coming. maybe the first reaction video is Taylor Swift, Tortured Poets Department.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Obviously, we got a little bit till it comes out. So, I mean, stay tuned on that. Yeah, Swifties, we may be making y'all very happy.
I think we'd have an interesting reaction just because like we don't know what we're in for.
Yeah, this is first time for everything.
Exactly.
We had our first in person. I'm ready to get back to it. So,
Yeah, we will.
maybe we'll see what happens. Let's move on though. Huge surprise here. Saturday night, I text Jonathan, well, my boy Johnny Carnahan texted me. He said it dropped, and I knew exactly what he meant. Kanye West, Ty Dolla sign, Vultures won. Damn, it's surprising it came out when it did. I think Donda was like what, like Sunday
It was a
randomly.
Sunday, yeah.
Yeah. I remember I woke up from a nap and I was like, holy shit. This was another one. I was like, holy shit! Like it didn't feel real that this came out. When
Mm-mm.
rumors of this had started, coming around, I was like, I'll go on record saying that it's never going to come out. It was looking like pretty good take there, but here we are. Let's get into our thoughts on the album. What do you think? I mean, initially here on Vultures.
I didn't think it was bad, but I wasn't blown away. I think it's kind of inconsistent, but I think it's pretty good. I'm not mad at it.
I so it feels like I'll agree with you. It's not a bad project by any means. Like the biggest comparison I gave it to, it feels like somewhat like a Drake project. It's not like the music wise, but it feels like it has its a better tracks and stuff like that, and the rest somewhat felt like throwaway tracks, or didn't I could have done without seeing them on there. In terms of that, it's another one I think will grow on me, and so. But I mean, with that being said, I think Donda clears this. I didn't love this album, but the way I love tracks on Donda, I don't think Donda's a really great project overall, but man, there's some fucking phenomenal tracks on there.
Oh yeah.
What were some of the tracks that you had or you enjoyed most from Vultures One, from the first
Yeah.
version here?
I mean, I guess I'll just say like on this project, there's no life of the party. There's no off the grid. There's
Yeah,
no
come
praise
to
God. There's no
life,
come to life. There's no
Jesus
even
Lord Junior. Yeah.
24. Yeah, there's no believe what I say. There's some good tracks, but they're not on the level of Donda. I think Donda clears. I will agree, but there are definitely good tracks in this project.
Oh, for
I
sure.
I think to me the two biggest standouts would be Burn and Carnival. I really like Carnival.
Yeah, I thought Cardi did his thing. I feel like anytime Kanye and Cardi are together, we are getting we're getting a great track. We saw it with Off the Grid on Donda, another track there. So I mean, it was something really enjoyable, and I liked what Ty Dolla Sign did there. That was may have been my favorite performance from him on Carnival. So
Yeah, what about you? Or what are your standouts?
Stars, I really feel like
That
that
was good.
sets I great intro track, kind of sets the tone. Keys to My Life as well, back to back there. Hood Rat, I love the ending to Hood Rat, it goes crazy.
I don't like Hood Rat.
Okay, and then Fuck Something, Travis Scott. It
That
was
was up there.
different vibe from Travis Scott, but I liked it. Obviously he's one who kind of experiments with different stuff, so I like that version that we got.
I like that one too. I like the way Travis came in with the La Flame, he's just saying La Flame a couple times and the little line. That was cool. Yeah, I don't know why Keys to My Life. It was all right. It didn't blow me away. Um, the line where he says, plus these texts getting way too emotional. Talk about emojis. I
Yeah,
mean, that was crazy. That gave me the reminder of the lonely emojis that he used to tweet about and just tweet random emojis that nobody used. That was funny.
yeah.
Solid project, I'll say overall. I don't think we're talking about in December, spoiler alert, but
Yeah.
um,
I'll go on ahead and say I won't be talking about it in December. Maybe it grows on Jonathan a lot and makes it, but
yeah, maybe.
we may be talking about another Yay project in December, though. Possibly we may have something coming, so we'll get into the news in that here in a little bit.
Yeah, I think the one thing I would think about though is there's supposed to be two more of these on the way.
Yeah, I could do without those.
But my thing is, I think had we, at this rate, if we take the top three or four songs from all of them,
Oh
we
yeah, you
probably have
could
a
fucking
good
have
album.
yeah, yes. That's why I think that's why that was my point with I feel like there's a lot of filler there. So
It's not even
we'll
that long
see.
of an album, but yes.
Yeah, like I could have done without a lot of tracks on here.
yeah, what are some that you think you could have done without maybe?
Okay, let me go here. One I really didn't. I saw a lot of people fucking with. I didn't like Vultures. I mean, I've you've known that from the
Vultures
beginning
really
there.
really grew on me. Really grew on me.
Okay, and you know all these could grow. Paid talking to me and back to me was a bad three song run. Not a bad. I'm not saying bad music or anything. It's just something I didn't enjoy. Something I could have done without. To give an example there, and that's three consecutive tracks. You know that is a chunk of the album there. And then Do It. That was last one there that I really would have taken off, and maybe we could have left others on there. Went with the what? How many? What I said 4, so that would be a 12 song project, and that's my goal. 10 to 12. Me and Chalky just talked about the other day. He loved the 7 song album run. 10 to 12. That's the beautiful range there. So
I like that. Yeah, back to me, interesting song. You know, if I learned one thing, it's that beautiful big titty butt naked women just don't fall at the sky. And that's something I didn't know before I listened to this album, if we're being honest. I thought they did.
yeah,
And so shout out to Ye for telling me that. I heard it, dozens of times on that track. So that part I actually really did not like, obviously. But
yeah.
Freddie Gibbs is so good on that track. I wish
That,
I was on any other track.
yeah, that's I feel like the features were pretty solid, but they just didn't come as correct as they did on Donda. Donda's fucking features are,
Agreed.
whew. um, I don't know. But like, I mean, that's the thing with it and with albums, with music as well. You enjoy it. There. That's why maybe somebody's gonna love something from everything off three of these versions. Everybody different opinions, all subjective. So one I really enjoyed, he would have done without on the album. So
Yeah, so we'll see.
just goes to
I
show, yeah, it's all subjective.
Yeah, I will say one of the like biggest takeaways that just like really stood out to me is like these are like I would say the most like sexual lyrics. Like
Yeah.
it just is over the top in many ways on many songs. And then that contrasts so strongly against like talking. I think talking is actually kind of refreshing in the track list because you go from so much about, sex and stuff, and then you get North, and then you get Ty
Yeah.
Dolla Sign talking about his daughter being in situations that he's in, and looking, and it's almost like Ty Dolla Sign's violent crimes moment. And that's
Yes.
so weird in the track list to me with everything else. And then there's a couple other that are like that. Like I think Burn, it has some sexual lyrics, they all do, but the chorus and stuff is more wholesome to some extent. I think Problematic even is a little bit more, it's a little bit more of his Kanye's perspective, introspective type look at where he's at and everything, obviously he's gone through recently. Um, but yeah, that was my biggest standout. I was listening to these songs and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like I would not listen to this to my mom in the car. My mom, she listens to this episode. Excuse my
Yeah.
language for what I just said. I mean, yeah, I feel I can't even repeat it.
Yeah,
But
I'm sorry, Amy.
yeah, sorry. The one person I want to give a shout out, JPEG Mafia. We get 4 JPEG Mafia production credits on this project.
Yeah,
That's
that just
massive.
goes to show. Fuck, look out for the Second Avenue. Just hate on everybody till we get our shine, get put on off that. Obviously, JPEG Mafia is very deserving. I feel we're very deserving as well. It's besides the point,
Yeah,
but yeah, that's just like a crazy. Like he really made it happen. He really stood on business. So
he hated so hard that he was successful, and that's beautiful. He actually did produce a fuck song, so fire. I mean, that JPEG Mafia production with Cardi and Trav, that's fire for him. I feel like that's gonna kind of open people up to him. That's one of those things. Like, I don't know what rappers are aware of other rappers. You know what I mean?
uh
Like,
huh.
does Travis Scott know who JPEG Mafia is? I would feel like yes, but maybe not. You never know. And so now maybe he's be like, I want JPEG Mafia on my next
Oh yeah,
project.
yeah. Production was called there. So I mean, that's also the thing with Kanye West projects or these massive projects that is bringing together so many different artists is what could happen off that. So I mean, that'll be super interesting and super exciting to follow.
Yeah. The one thing I will say with his production though, I feel like he kind of toned it back a little bit. Like where I would expect him to like go a different direction and do something off the wall like he would do on his own projects. I feel like he
Mm-hmm.
kind of toned it back to fit them a little bit more.
Uh-huh.
Yay and
But
Ty.
stay at that point. Stay true to yourself. Stick with
True,
what
true.
got you there. So, it's cool to see though. Very cool to see. Shout
Yeah.
out JPEG Mafia.
Shout out JPEG Mafia. And it's one of those things where there's like six producers on some of the songs he's on. So it's like, how much did he
Yeah.
really do? You never know. Unless you're in the studio, you don't know. So yeah, decent project from Kanye. I mean, we'll see about Vultures 2 and 3. Um, we did say episode 100 would be the Kanye albums ranking, but first off, it's in March and we're doing brackets on March. So if you have any ideas for brackets, let us know. So I think we're to pause on the Kanye albums ranking and see if Vultures 2 comes out. And then if Vultures 2 comes out, we'll do it after Vultures 3. If, it seems like they're all going to come out, who knows? But it's supposed to be two
Yeah,
months from now.
we're aiming.
See.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Super exciting episode. We've been, I mean, 100 episodes in. Or about damn near 3 episodes away.
Yep.
So it's coming. You waited this long. What's 5 or 10 more episodes, maybe?
Yeah. So we'll see. Let's talk a little bit about the releases this week, excluding Kanye. Obviously, talked about that already. We got projects from Little Sims, 504, and Usher, 1999, Write the Future. And then we got singles from Lotto, Lil Skies, Nardo Wick, and Sexy Red, Kid Cudi, Chief Keef, Schoolboy Q, Tommy Richmond, AG Club, and Ice Cold Bishop for the See You Next Year project. Had to give that some love, obviously. Let's talk about these. What singles have you been bumping? What projects you been bumping? Obviously, yay, but what besides that?
Haven't given much of anything else a listen. I've been seeing a lot about the Lotto Ice Spice beef. You sent me the Nardo Wick, and second, I heard a little bit. You sent me a video on Twitter. And then outside of that, I'll give my boy Fabio Foreign a listen. Then Usher, I need to bump that a little bit before the Super Bowl just to see.
Gotcha.
I mean, I just have to give this shout out like every time it comes across my mind. Fabio Foreign Off the Grid. The other night, Chalky and I were listening to it. It's like, who the fuck is this? I was like, Fabio Foreign. I was like, that was best verse on Donda, I think I'll say. So
It's definitely up there if it's not number one. I think under 3,000, for the record, but
yeah, just fucking like two and a half straight minutes of just fucking beautiful.
He just goes.
So, yeah, literally like that's he ate, left no crumbs. Those rappers rapping like Rent Steal.
Yeah, he absolutely was. But yeah, that clip I sent you, that Nardo Wick new song, I'm not gonna spoil it. If you have not heard that, just go throw it on. The sample, your mind's gonna be blown. You're gonna be like, whoa, that was a blast in the past. What a moment. Why did they sample this? I don't know, but it's crazy. And yeah, other than that, I love the Tommy Richmond. We got a little 2-pack, both fire. And AG Club, Ice Cold Bishop. Shout out to my boy Dustin, producer on that. Been working with him, so that's fire. Big moment. See you next year too, on the way, Other than that, though, 1999, Write the Future. What a great project. That was a great listen. I'm gonna tell you to check that one out. I don't know if you
I need
are
to then. Yeah.
on that, but it is fire. It's like all like 88 Rising, so like Rich Brian and all of them. But it has like Ghostface Killah, Rick Ross. It has
Some legend.
Smino.
I saw the legend
Yeah,
on there.
West Side Gun. Oh, crazy, crazy track list. It's something different on every track. Very good listen. So definitely recommend that one to, anybody looking for something new for a quick listen. Actually, it's kind of long. It's like an hour and a half, but for a unique listen. I guess, yeah, the last piece of news here is Kanye West, Y3, yay, however you what's pronounce it, potentially on the way, a Kanye solo project to go with all these Ty Dolla Sign projects. We'll see. I mean, after three Vultures, how many verses he got left? I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, I will be holding my breath until this comes out. So we'll see how that goes for me.
I agree. This one, I'm a little bit less
but we were the same way on
confident in.
Vultures, or I was the same way on Vultures. So
It's true.
We'll see what happens.
It is true.
Yeah, he's back.
Ye might be back. Ye might not have left.
Yeah, he really didn't leave, but he's back now.
Yeah. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this week's episode. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Have a great week. Peace.